What is up, people? Welcome back to another episode of Grandpa's Fridge. And just to start off the bat, I do want to address. I know that the last weekend I didn't post anything, and granted, I never said it every weekend. I know I said this last time, and I intended. I had so much stuff planned for the last week that kept happening. Things kept popping up with like information and stuff to talk about. And the weekend kind of just flew by and caught me off guard because I was doing a couple things with people. And I know, granted, hear me out. It's still summertime, and in summertime, you don't really want to be stuck inside just recording on your like recording a podcast thing 24/7. So I was, and it's a weekend. Weekends are usually in summertime the most often time people can hang out. So I was taking advantage of that in the sense, and I was also doing, in my opinion, better things than just sitting here recording. Not saying I didn't want to, because I still have a giant list right here of things to talk about, but just think of it like as this is like maybe 4 days information behind, and a lot of things I'm going to talk about date wise, calendar dates are in this week right now, like music right now. There's a lot of stuff coming out this week and in the next following few weeks. Like right now, it's in my opinion of the year, prime time for music, and there's a lot of albums I'm looking forward to. But I'm not going to get too much into this right now. What I will say, another thing, I know just to come back, just to leave kind of sort of situation, but this episode will drop on the weekend, and then when that weekend comes, the Friday before that weekend starts, I will be heading up to my aunt's house in New Hampshire for 9 days to be there and hanging out with them and my cousins and stuff. You know them from the videos, like knickknacks and stuff. But case in point, I'm not going to be recording episodes in the weekends there, so think of it as like a I think it's only going to really cost a weekend. I think by the time that happens and I come back from that, I should have enough stuff and information in the course of that week to talk about things when I return. So after this one goes up on that weekend that it does, 2 weekends from when this one's up, it should be another one. So I think like the following weekend of this going up, I will not be posting one. Just be aware of that. Not saying I don't want to, but I just, like I said, similar to the weekend situation that just happened this past weekend, I would rather be hanging out with people and doing more fun stuff outside and making the most out of the summer, as much as you can with the quarantine and pandemic going on, instead of just sitting inside recording these and talking on these 24/7. Not that I do that, it's usually once a week, but I digress. Case in point, it's still summertime, and I just want to enjoy that to the most, and I've been having a lot of fun recently, so I want to continue that. And this is sort of like a backhand thing. If I started this in May, maybe it would have been more frequent, because it wasn't summertime and really like anywhere for you to go, and people wanted to hang out as much in May, or maybe even April or March. If I just talked about this stuff that was happening at that time, maybe this would be different. But just think of this as like a thing where every so often I'll talk on it. All right. But yeah, just to get right into it. A random thing I just want to talk about, because last week, I'll be honest, as soon as I woke up on Monday of last week, I was like, yeah, it's going to be really slow. And granted, there was like still announcements of things coming out the week and stuff, and I was still excited for those. But I was like, the week itself, like sitting or being inside all day of the week, pretty much just like every day, because my parents to work and people don't really hang out as much on the weekdays. I noticed that, especially in the summertime, like I said, when it comes to getting rides when they can't either get a license yet. But yeah, so I was just trying to find things to do inside the house, and I got a couple things I kind of kept myself busy with during the week. But off the bat, like Monday, I started watching stuff because we got a trial of Disney Plus. So yeah, I watched a few things using that, and I've been watching more things as the week goes by. But first thing I watched with Disney Plus was Toy Story 4. And I just want to say off the bat, this movie is cinematically beautiful for an animated film. Like, it doesn't even look like an animated film sometimes. The cat looks crazy, like realistic, like the scenes like with animals and people in them. And I know it's still got that Pixar Disney style that makes it look like those characters are like not really exactly human life like. They look more caricature like, but that's the point. Is the whole like the scenery and stuff, especially the town and the fair, they look so realistic, and it's crazy. They must have spent, it's why this movie took so long to come out, they spent years probably perfecting every little tiny like crack in the wall and brick and stuff to have a texture, and looked really nice. And I don't know, I watched that movie, I get what people were saying when they said it's a cash grab, and that totally makes sense, and I kind of see why this didn't have to happen for the movie series to end at 3. And this is a similar situation I was telling someone to Stranger Things, where after that third season, they could have totally ended it there, and it would have been such a perfect ending in the sense that, like, maybe leave some things unanswered, but that could always lead to different series in the future. But this, as a whole, right here, is a really good ending. I think it has that, like, it hits, like, the feel sort of thing. But knowing more and more money can be made off this franchise, Toy Story and Stranger Things, they're going to keep going with them. With Toy Story, this is the last one, but they could totally use the franchise for things like a TV series and little episodes like they have on Disney Plus, like little like shorts that they animate. With Stranger Things, however, I know it's a Netflix show. They only have like 5 seasons max, I think, planned out for the future, and that's gonna have they already have like the ending of the entire show planned apparently, as David Harbour said, and I don't know. I'm excited for that. It sucks that they got canceled for production this year because they were already seeming to be on a good rate because they had pushed out the video on I think Valentine's Day of Hopper being alive, which was sick. I digress. Case in point, Toy Story 4, really good movie. A couple other things I watched, but I'm just gonna say off the bat, I would recommend if you have a way to watch Toy Story 4 to watch it. If you have watched Story 3, it kind of makes sense. If you don't have to. Honestly, you don't even have to watch 3 to understand 4. You could go from Toy Story 1 and 2 and then 4, because 3 kind of doesn't affect what happens in 4, in my opinion. They're kind of like, I liked how they did that, how you didn't have to watch 3 to make sense. They talk about some things, like going back in time to some events that happened in that, but it's not like game-changing for the movie itself. This wasn't on Disney Plus, but I watched the movie Little Rascals, the 90s version, or I think it might be the 80s. But that movie, I love that movie. It really displays childhood, or portrays childhood like pure and really good. And I like the cast. I like how they act. I think these are some of the, at the time when their movies were like really like maybe more low budget and not as like CGI related and like really out there exotic movie, not exotic, but like extravagant movies. I think this is one of the ones where child actors are really good in the movie, and honestly, I still always love watching that movie. Sorry about that. And I don't know. I've watched that movie. I watched that movie when I was a little kid, and I really liked it ever since then. And I just try to find it more and more times to watch it. My grandmother, I think, had a VHS tape of it once. I don't know if she still has that. I'm pretty sure she got rid of that, but I still find more ways to watch it online. Like we had it on demand on our TV, which was good. And I would definitely recommend watching that movie. Don't watch the Netflix one. Pretty sure it's awful. I think this one on its own. I know there's also a series from like the 1950s and 60s about like the kids living in poverty and how like just they care about more about childhood. They don't worry about like grown adult problems like dealing with money and issues in the poverty and Great Depression. But I haven't watched all of that. I know some scenes. I know a guy that directed the Florida Project. He really took inspiration for that movie, from the Little Rascals series, because he just liked how pure the child actors were, and it really seemed authentic. But yeah, like I said, I would totally recommend watching Little Rascals, the '90s movie. I like the overall plot. I like how the kids act, and I like how it really has like arches sort of in the story, like points where it hits lows and highs, especially with the cast. And then also there's there's like 3 main celebrity actors that pop up in the movie: Whoopi Goldberg, Reba Wilson, and Donald Trump. When he was like in the 90s, more as like a rich, like not asshole, but like braggadocious guy with the money. And that's why he plays the rich kid in the movie's father, which is kind of funny. But I digress. Really good movie. I liked that one a lot, and I was happy I rewatched it, and I found a place to watch it. Okay, going back to Disney Plus though, Onward, which came out I think this year. It was intended for March or maybe April. This movie was way better than I thought, and honestly had a good mix of everything when it comes to Disney movie. I think they should. I'm gonna just say what I thought about the movie first. For you don't know the plot, it's pretty much these 2 brothers that are like in like these magical area. Think of like a magical suburban, and like the world is like mad. They don't use magic as much. Think of like technology really overshadowed the magic that you used to use a lot more, and then it's almost like how these days technology really is overruling everything in that sense that people really rely on it a lot. But the 2 kids, they lost their father at a really young age. I think the younger one, Tom Holland, plays him in the voice acting. He never met his dad, and his older brother did, and they never got to say goodbye and stuff. Point is, when for his 16th birthday, he gets the wand, and there's a way for him to make a spell so he can bring back his father for 24 hours, and they go through this whole quest, which was kind of sick, the whole entire plot of that, with like how they went through that, and it just got better and better, I think, to a certain point in the movie, and I really liked there was like a thing that I didn't expect at all in the movie, not to spoil, but like maybe like 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way through the movie, just a random ass thing happened, and I was not, I don't know why, maybe it was predictable for some people, I didn't expect it to happen. And then, obviously, the happy ending and how things change when they sort of rely more on magic at the end of the movie and going back to their roots, if that makes sense, and stuff, and how it really is better than technology in the sense that a lot of people in this suburban area have like special abilities as like magical mythical creatures. So I don't know. I just liked how I think the maybe not the cast like voice actors, but like the actual characters in the movie had more variety in my opinion, and I liked that for that reason. What I was gonna say, just give me a minute. I think honestly, at Animal Kingdom at Disney, or maybe one of the Disney parks, could be a different one. They should definitely make a themed area off this movie because I think the whole suburban area, like the little like mushroom houses and stuff, looks sick. It reminds me of like a not like a bootleg Mario, but like the whole mythical theme is kind of sick. I think they should definitely add like a ride or something. Maybe it's like you hop in their van, the two brothers in the front. Think of if you've ever been or seen videos of Universal, they have a lot of studios. They have a lot of 3D rides where the screens are on the side of you, but this like cart brings you around on a track. They could do something like that. I like animatronics more in rides, and it seems more cool when it's like lifelike instead of just like a 3D screen like watching a movie. But honestly, I think they have a lot of opportunity with that. And seeing as they recently announced they're going to change or rebrand or rename and revamp the Splash Mountain into like a Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog thing, I could definitely see them changing, or not changing, but like maybe like renovating some areas of the parks and adding more stuff for the future. Granted, I know this whole pandemic affects how they can work in construction and have more ideas for the future, and it's really going to cost them in money, and they're trying to open the parks now. But I think this was a good movie, and it sucks that it had to be pushed on the streaming services instead of movie theaters because pandemic. But I think people should still watch this one because it was really sick, and I liked it. And I already had a good feeling about it ever since I saw the cast, the main two characters being Tom Holland and Chris Pratt. But them playing these characters in the movie was even better. So those were the movies that I watched mainly. I'm also watching The Mandalorian. I'm on like episode 6 so far with my dad. It's pretty sick. I like on that show, just to get real quickly into it, how every episode, it's not like in a Star Wars movie where they mainly focus on one area of like an island, or not like an island, like a one land, like a planet, and they really spend like 2/3 of the movie there. Like just think like the last few Star Wars movies, they really spend like a lot of time in the desert or in the dark sides, like buildings. I forget the names of them, but case in point, those movies usually they don't go too deep into the area and the characters and the diverse like whole opportunity of like the space theme with the characters in the like space Star Wars areas, like the whole entire galaxy and stuff. But I like how these episodes of the Mandalorian do kind of do that. They have like their own little areas they go to each episode, and it's really more, in my opinion, vast. Like episode 6 was amazing, and just to talk about Bill Burr is one of the characters in the show in this episode at least. And Pedro Pascal plays the Mandalorian. He's sick, and you don't even see his face, but his voice and his acting. I don't know if he does all the stunts. Probably not. Maybe a little bit of them. I think I might have read somewhere before that he tried to have a say in some of those and doing some of them. Baby Yoda is sick. You already know who that is. But there's one more thing I was gonna say. For that show, I realized I really started to like listen into like the because the show has a lot of like not blank noise, but it's like filled in by music, and the music score is it's made by I'm trying to remember his name now. He made the Black Panther score, and he won the award with Childish Gambino for what's it called, This Is America. His name is Ludwig Göransson. He's amazing. He makes amazing movie scores. He made like a score for, with like multiple songs for each episode of this show, and he's gonna probably work on it in the future. He's a musical genius, and the stuff he makes. He also worked on Redbone, and that song's amazing. So like I don't know. I haven't thought of it like frequently in my head, but looking back yesterday when I found out that he made the score to this show, I was like, this guy is something else. He's really spectacular. And I hope in the future he gets put onto more scores. He worked on Creed 2, and they have a good cast on that album. A$AP Rocky's on there, Vince Staples, Childish Gambino, and I think Gigi Nyko. The last three are all on one song together, which is even crazier. One more thing about Onward. Or no, I guess Disney movies in general. But yeah, like I said last about The Mandalorian, I really like that show. If you have Disney Plus, definitely watch it. It's really not that, like... it doesn't have to make you, like, get attached to it. You don't have to... What's the term, like stick through it. It's not like a pain and really slow show. It really gets straight to the point, and the episodes are short. They're like less than 50 minutes every time, which is sick. Yeah, something I noticed, and I guess I never realized this before, I always thought Disney movies were way longer than they actually are. I used to think they made the movies like 2 hours. I thought like a normal movie was 2 hours or longer. But it seems with more recent Disney movies, they're around like an hour and 40 minutes, like 100 minutes. Because yeah, both Onward and Toy Story 4 were only that at that time frame, but they were very packed in that time frame. So I was like surprised at how much stuff happened in an hour and 40 when I used to think like Disney movies were like 2 hours or longer. Granted, the Marvel stuff usually is because it's way more extravagant and they need more time to get all that stuff packed in, especially based off comics. But these cartoon movies and animation, I used to think they were way longer. Maybe because I was a kid and I didn't understand time that much, at least when it comes to watching a movie and how long you spend watching one. But I digress. A big announcement, in my opinion, or something cool that I heard like I think like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. And I think this is sick because I loved the movie. I read the book beforehand, and I rewatched the movie recently. Ernest Cline, the author of Ready Player One, and he worked with Steven Spielberg for like getting things pinpoint accurate inside of Ready Player One, the movie. He announced Ready Player Two is the sequel book to release on November 24th. This is sick because I recently realized or found out that he released the book in like 2011 or 2013, and I was like, I don't know why I thought it was way older than that, but considering 5, 6 years, maybe almost 7 after that the movie came out, maybe people overall didn't like that because it was really just a pop culture grab of like a sandbox, but kind of a mess because it's like you can't always make things pinpoint accurate to the books, as that almost always goes with books to movies renditions. But I really have hope, not only for this book being sick, because I'm going to get it as soon as it comes out. I'm probably going to pre-order one of these days because I really liked that book a lot. And I don't read many books in like, oh, I really like that, because most times in school they make you read books that you don't really want to read, and that's the problem. But when you find a book like this, like for me, like a lot of pop culture stuff in it and gaming related stuff is sick, and the music references from the 80s and 90s was cool to me, especially how much of them were in here, because it had me research a lot of stuff and like, oh, that's a sick song, that's a sick game, and that's a cool Easter egg reference. But yeah, I wonder how long he's been working on the book. I have hope that it's going to be sick, and I really am looking forward to that. Kind of a random thing, but it's still kind of cool in my opinion. Jaden Smith is in collaboration with New Balance, and he has made a pair of shoes. He's releasing a pair of shoes this Friday, the July 24th, same day as a couple other things from music related, but we'll get into that later. Their shoes are called the Vision Runners. They're releasing this, well, it was going to be next Friday when I released the episode, but it's this Friday now. And they are $150, which is out of the roof expensive, but apparently not the reason, but like something that contributes to why that price is so expensive. They're considered vegan shoes, which I know is weird to call shoes vegan. Maybe they have like materials that don't actually kill animals to make them, and they're like healthy in that sense, like plant-based. I don't know. Maybe like something related to the shoe is like cotton, which is like a plant, and that could be used for like a main component for the shoe. I didn't get into the details. I didn't read too much into the shoes because they do look so clean, and this blue is really nice hue. It's like a blue and purple mixture. I really like the color. It reminds me of the Sire or Eris album cover text font color, and they have nice little details like the word vision in like a little like imprint on the sides, and they really reminded me of a mix of the original LaFleur's with Converse that had the 4 pastel colors, pastel-esque, I guess. What had the B on the back and the little heel that said "Don't kill your flowers, water your garden and stun." I liked that on the outer rim, but they also remind me of a mix of that with the little Jupiter Case was collaboration shoes, which at the time when they were announced and teased, I really was into them last November and wanted to get them. I never did, because I know usually with shoes, I'll be excited for them online and then look at them, or I'll like think of the price tag and be like, I'm just gonna wear them. They're not really like, I'm not gonna like stare in awe. I'm not a sneakerhead or anything, in no way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna stare in awe at the shoes that I spent like $100+ on. But they have, yeah, I was really into at the announcement of those, and then these similarly here with these shoes. I like the overall style and I guess the artistic direction with them. Hopefully he drops a song to coincide with the release of these shoes. People were saying yes, and there's also a teaser on his Instagram that has the videos of that song, or like a random song that he hasn't released before being played. So hopefully it has to release, or it releases the same day, and hopefully that also coincides with the shoes. But like I said, a lot of things are dropping on Friday music related. I'll get into this like I said later, but it's gonna be a really good Friday if everything that's being announced actually comes out. There's only one thing that's actually like, supposedly not gonna come out, or maybe not the day it says it will, but I'll get into that later. Another big announcement for a game that I really like the franchise. I bought Far Cry 3 last week on like Monday or Tuesday. Far Cry 6 was announced 2 weekends ago now when this releases. Giancarlo Esposito, the main antagonist, and possibly Voss as a son. Apparently not. It's played by Anthony Gonzalez, who was the voice actor of the main character in Coco. It's a good bit of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul people here. I said that in the case that if the guy that plays Nacho Varga was in this game, or actually I don't know how he would. Maybe like if he makes an appearance in the game. I really doubt that though, because I don't think this is his voice as this kid. It's just another kid with the habit to have an eyebrow cut. Because the thing of the trailer is he has a modern day cell phone, like an iPhone type thing bootleg in the trailer, which would make it a modern day thing. But they consider it like stuck in a time loop. The island that they're on, because tropical area, because like it's like, I don't know, there's like older car models but new technology for the phones, so it's really a mix. I don't know how it's going to be handled in the game, but from the photos we've seen, which is like 4 of them in the trailer, which looks insanely realistic, which is probably not going to be how the game is, but I have really high hopes for it still regardless. It looks sick. And there's this really sick thing that has a goddamn cute ass puppy dog with wheels in the back, probably as like a paraplegic dog with like his back hind legs removed, or they broke, or that they had to get taken off, almost like he was amputated. And it just looks sick. It's little like, it's almost like a battle dog. It has like a little like cart, and it's gonna attack people. I don't know. It just looks sick in the photo as well. I really think that's sick as a pre-order bonus. It's like a version of him with like a purple cart. Ubisoft, I'm gonna get into this after, but like they really seem to be announcing way better game, not franchises, but in the franchises that I like playing, like mainly Watch Dogs and Far Cry. They seem to have two really solid games coming up, and I'll get into why I feel like that's looking way more better than like a Rockstar thing, because they spend a lot of time on their games, but at the same time they're being super quiet recently, and it's kind of got me concerned. But yeah, as I was saying, Watch Dogs Legion is out now, and my thoughts about the whole zero useless NPCs in the game and everyone's being playable. I watched some gameplay because someone got like a free trial, or like a hour of like footage they could record, and the first things I noticed were right now, like I said last week, I finished it this weekend, or last weekend, I was playing Watch Dogs 2, or right now I am. Well, I say I keep saying that, but I finished it last weekend. So yeah, I played the game throughout that weekend. I finished. That was one of the things I got myself busy with. While most people didn't like that game's story, I am loving the kinds of extravagant things you do in the game. You break into a FIB building. You go to a bootleg Google place, and they have like a bunch of like cool things you like sneak in through. It's almost like a giant playground. That's what it literally reminded me of. There's a sick thing where you control the robot drone thing, like the ones that like have giant bodies and wheels and roll around in the parks and stuff, and scan you to make sure you're not like a threat or an enemy. And you like go in like a factory, and it's got all these little buttons and stuff you can screw around with, and it really reminded me of like a kid's game. It's so cool with like how much of a playground that San Francisco is in that game. Maybe in overall the last 7 years since GTA Online is older and GTA 5 has a really better, I guess you could say it has better version of California, because it's got like all the biomes and stuff. But I think they nailed California or San Francisco over the head with Watch Dogs 2, because it just has this like really vibrant feel to it, and I like it a lot. Granted, the game is very hipster based, but it's also I don't know. It's just, the game was fun for me with playing it. Like guys, as I say right here, and I like the game, and the game seems fluent and smooth, as dumb as the character hipster models may be. But with Legion, Watch Dogs Legion, the footage, granted this is a work in progress until the game releases in late October, it looks choppier, the footage, and it looks, the whole concept of every NPC is playable. It makes lesser of a structure of the story, more sandbox style, with like all of these like people in your hands you can control, pick whatever one you need for the job especially. But with them at your fingertips, it still seems very fun and unique, but I'll keep an eye on it as like footage as I continue to enjoy how much there is to do in Watch Dogs. Or I might come back to it, but like I said, I finished it last weekend. But at the moment, my thoughts on game development and releases, and why I'm starting to see more interesting stuff from Ubisoft than, let's just say, Rockstar. Rockstar has just been quiet this whole year ever since the pandemic. They were like, oh, the pandemic will not affect our game development and updates for the future games that we still release. Like, think, for example, it's been 7 months since both Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA Online got an update. They haven't said nothing about a new update. I've been looking into like forums and stuff to see if people if it's anything like leaks and rumors. And there's plenty of rumors, but they're probably really unlikely in the sense of like people can make anything up on the spot and people will just eat it up because they have nothing to go off because Rockstar is dead silent. And by the time this comes out, this episode, it'll already been like a few days past when the Diamond Casino update came out last summer with GTA Online, and then last September is when they released Frontier Pursuits. So yeah, and then Moonshiners and Casino Heist came out in December, both like the day after each other. The problem is they just haven't like said like, oh yeah, and I don't know why. Maybe it's like a hype factor. People get excited when they don't, or they feel better when they don't hear anything saying, oh, we can't push something out because we're having issues because of the pandemic slowing us down. Maybe that sounds like a bad thing in some people's minds, but I think it's more clearance and guidance, and they should give us an update on why they're being slowed down with production. That's my personal opinion on what's going on with that and why I'm not saying what they're doing is justified because they're gonna kill Red Dead Redemption Online soon enough if they don't update it in the next like 3 weeks, literally. Because people have been dressing up as clowns in the game. There was the alien thing in GTA Online. That wasn't like a diss to Rockstar, but it was just a bunch of random things going on because people were so bored, and Rockstar hasn't put anything in the game in 7 months, and they're really killing it with that silence. There was rumors of a City Morgan collaboration in GTA Online, December 2020. They posted a photo last November. But people have just been running with that since that's all we really have for an idea. And one time they got interviewed asking about would they be in GTA Online, they said we cannot disclose that information. It's an NDA pretty much. So yeah, it sounds like they will have some part in the game at some point, but we just don't know nothing from Rockstar. The only thing I can go off right now is that City Morgue is dropping like a mixtape or an album on the 30th, so like a few days after this releases, or no, the Friday after this releases, like I don't know, 6 days away, 5 days away. Point is, Rockstar silence sucks, and that's all I gotta say about it, really, without getting too much into detail. So yeah, mainly music is the big thing. I have a bunch of stuff to talk about right now. I'm like halfway through an episode right now, which is not bad. Yeah, new music, quick thoughts. We're gonna start with big crazy news and end with big crazy news. Big crazy news starting off, which is kind of sad, but bittersweet. Probably not entirely true, but like all this stuff going on with him. He'd been quiet for like 9 months. He dropped that one song in September. Logic then dipped with Down to Earth, and it was kind of cool, but I hope it's not on the album. I don't remember if it is because the track list just came out today, but I'll check. Logic is retiring music with a final farewell album to become a father, or focus more on becoming a father, because he has a son now and his wife. What I'm pretty sure his final album, No Pressure, produced by No ID, comes out July 24th. Now I'll pull up right now the track list since I was just talking about that, and I remember way back in I think May or June, his stuff leaked, and it was like, his couple songs, a good bit of songs actually leaked, and it was like, Logic. These aren't bad. No, they sounded decent, but they weren't finished, I don't think. Yeah, so I'm looking on here right now. I'm pretty sure, the song that he had with Down to Earth, I'm checking right now what it was called, which was literally, I think, back in either September or October. Right here, OCD. It's not on the album, so it was just a single, which I'm happy about. I like when singles aren't related to the album and they just drop. Rex Orange County does a lot of this. He just drops singles that aren't on the album. Or he did that with, like, before Apricot Princess and after it, which is cool. He did a couple songs that went on to Pony, but it's whatever. Because those are hyping the album up. Here's the track list if you want. And it's also, let me just note this before, it's sick that the cover art for this album is also like a take on his first album, Under Pressure, and it's it's like things are now floating, but it's the same like sort of like style of the room, and things are like, I don't know, it looks like he's being ascended essentially, like No Pressure, and maybe the No Pressure title relates to him being like pressured into music, like with like all the hate and stuff. It's over time, but yeah, here are the titles for the songs: No Pressure Intro, Hit My Line, GP4, Celebration, Open Mic / Aquarius 3, Soul Food 2, sounds sick, Perfect, Man I Is, Dad Bod, nice title, 5 Hooks, Dark Place, A to Z, Heard Him Say, Amen, and Obediently There. So let me count them up real quick. 3, 6, I think there are 16 songs here. Let me see if I counted that right. Yep. Oh, no, 15. Pretty sure it's 15. And it's going to be fire, but also, while he talked about all this stuff with music, he is retiring because he has a son now, and he's really happy with his son and his wife, and I respect that. And he's got all this stuff dropping, like, merch-wise when the album comes out. And he's also dressed up in the same suit as, like, the Imperturbable True Story, this, like, red jumper suit. But right here, he made a deal with Twitch to sign exclusively stream there for, like, I don't know, maybe like a schedule each week. The deal was worth 7 figures. He made a multi-million-dollar deal with Twitch, and he's also on Twitch Thursday night, as in before or after this already comes out. This comes out after that already happened when the this release. Granted, this is Hump Day when I'm recording this Wednesday, so 2 days from now the album comes out. But tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern, like an hour before the album comes out, there's a release party extravaganza for Logic's No Pressure album. It's gonna be sick. People have really good confidence or high hopes for him with this album. They think he can come back around, disregarding the last like 2-3 years of albums that weren't that good. Young Sinatra 4 was nice. I like that a lot, but that was one of the main really good ones. I think Baba Tarantino 2 was like alright, but then after that it just took a bad turn. Last year was not it for his music, in my opinion. No one really like says, "Oh, I love Confessions of a Dangerous Mind." No one that I know, anyways. If you love that, then power to you. But it's just not as good as his stuff used to be. But yeah, hopefully this one's like at least an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I heard some of the leaks. I don't know if they're the same album songs that were leaked, but he had like an Andre 3000 sample and a couple of things like that. They sounded better than everything on Co-Adam, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. So I have good hopes for that. Hopefully he mixed it a little bit better, finished it off, polished it off, and put a little bow on top, because I think he can do good for this farewell album. Granted, he might come back in the future and do more music, like singles or features, but I think this is like, a big thing in the sense that he wants to focus more on other things than just being like, oh, I'm a musician 24/7, let's go on tour every single year. But yeah, that's Logic stuff. Gus Chapman released his single, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, posthumous, not bad. I liked the little mellow side. I like the guitar in it. It's pretty decent. I think the other one was better. Maybe it's First Aid. I think it was called. I think I liked that one a little bit better. But yeah, like a few days later, or maybe a week later, he announced his album coming on September 18th called Orca. I can pull up the track list right here if you want. It's a couple songs. It's not that many, but it's still sick that he's releasing a whole project, considering he released one last year. Yeah. So yeah, right here, Orca has 10 songs. Bottle Opener's the first one. The second one's First Aid, Posthumous, Bluebird, Palms, My Say So featuring Cella, Grim, Antidote, Medicine, and Swan Song. Now, if I had to look at all these, I have a good feeling about Bluebird. For the titles, Grim, Antidote, and Swan Song. I think those will be good. I could be wrong. Maybe there are better ones on the album in general, but I think he's in a good direction. I think he's a sick artist. I'm glad that I found his music last year and really got into him. He's a sick guy. He's also really good on Benny's song. Yeah, right here. So speaking of Benny, a new Benny song released that Wednesday of last week, 2 weeks ago now, that we're almost in the second week of it being released. I was really hyped when she announced it's coming out. She worked with Kenny Beats and Bakar. Bakar made the song Hell and Back. He worked with Dominic Fike for She Wants or Stop Selling Her Drugs. He worked on a project like Will You Be My Yellow. That stuff is fire. He's got a nice voice, really raspy, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like Pop Smoke, like cigarette smoker or chain smoker raspy. It sounds so nice and I think because it's a deeper voice, that's why it sounds a little bit off compared to normal people's or not normal, but different voices that are higher pitches, and just normal tone doesn't sound as deep as his. But he sounds so nice in the song. And like I said, first listen I felt about it because I listened to it on I listened to it first on YouTube on my phone, which wasn't that good. But then listening to it second and third time on my better quality headphones that I'm using right now, it sounded way better, and the bass was nice. Kid Cudi, and then that was the Wednesday of I think I'm trying to remember the date. Maybe it was the 13th. It was 2 weeks ago. Okay, so yeah, the week before this, that Benny song released. That Wednesday, the week before that Friday before that, Kid Cudi released The Adventures of Moon Man and Slim Shady, the single. This was the same day also as Juice WRLD album, so I'm pretty sure that was the 10th. Yeah, it was the 10th. The single itself pretty decent. Eminem has this one standout mouthwash bar, and then Cudi has a nice overall flow. It's nothing crazy, but nothing really bad. I think Cudi's in this rapping direction. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure he's dropping a project this year. Someone sent me a post, and I believed it that it was Cudi's track list for that, or announcement for the release date. And they were like, August something, and I was like, that's sick. And then I realized that it was a fake verified icon. It was the number 7 with a little circle around it on Twitter. And I was like, damn, he really just got me with that. But I have faith that Cudi's dropping something before the end of the year. So we have 6 more months to go, or 5. So yeah, I have hope. And I think this song and Leader of the Delinquents are not bad, but I really want that Scott's project. Stop the Cap. Drop it. Alright, speaking of sick artists that are dropping new music, or just talking in general, Dominic Fike has an album at the end of the month, the very last day. What Could Possibly Go Wrong is the title. It's releasing July 31st. He dropped the new Fike single, Violence in Politics. Great song. Really liked it a lot. I liked the switch up in the halfway through the song. Way better than Chicken Tenders, in my opinion. I didn't like the vocal mixing on that one, and how he had a higher pitched voice just wasn't for me that much. I think this song has a better sound, and how he ties important subjects into it and still makes it catchy and interesting. Another random single that released on that Friday, that what's it called? It was the same day that released the Juice WRLD album. I don't know why I was blanking right there. Rich Brian in Surprise dropped a song called Love in My Pocket. I've been hearing this song a lot recently, not on radio, but on Spotify. I had an ad for it once I listened to it in my playlist. It is pretty good, somewhat different style from what he's put out, usually rapping a lot before. I like this R&B / slow music from Rich Brian. I think he could do it way better, but this song is, I love the synths. I think some songs do synths way better than others. Using synths, the 80s stuff was really nice, but modern day music with synths. That's why I was iffy about Igor at first, and unless I listen to it more and more, it's got some really sick songs with synths. But I think the Rich Brian song right here is pretty good. I think it's catchy. I don't know. I want to hear an announcement from him that he has an album coming out soon. That would be really nice. Like I said, the sort of music from him is nice. It's a little bit nice change. Other examples of music like this is Curious and Drive Safe, both really good songs in my opinion, off of his album from last year, The Sailor. Way better album that dropped that day compared to The Big Day. The Big Day was a big flop, and compared to Rich Brian releasing the same day, I'm mad that I'm happy that everyone was like excited for Chance's album, and then when it was bad, I really wish people just took a chance and listened to, pun intended, Insane Chance. I wish people just listened to Rich Brian's album because it was really sick, and a good mix and new stuff. This was before a couple other things happened with this, but Kanye West teased on his Twitter a song called Donda. It's dedicated to his mother, he talked about, and I like his flow at the end, but it also, that follows his mother at the beginning singing or reciting KRS's lyrics from the song Sound of the Police. This song is nice. I think it's gonna release hopefully Friday this week, or a day or two after this comes, or before this comes out. Amine's album Limbo he released the track list, so it's right here, going from top to bottom. Burden, Woodlawn, Kobe, probably gonna be dedicated to Kobe Bryant. Roots featuring JID and Charlie Wilson. Can't Decide, Compensating featuring Young Thug, the single. Shimmy, another single that came out in February. Pressure in My Palms featuring Vince Staples and Slow Tie. Riri, another single. Easy featuring Summer Walker. Mama. Becky. Fetus featuring Injury Reserve, Rip Groggs. And then My Reality. So, I think it's 12... No, it's 14 songs, so 11 new ones. I got hope. I'm hoping Amine has a song on here that sounds like a mix of Turf, and especially Charlie Wilson's on that one song with JID. Hopefully it's like a song that's like Turf meets Invincible, because I love that higher pitch singing Amine. That stuff is fire to me, and I think he could definitely do more with it. It's a small thing as well, but Amine is collaborating. He released it this day. I'm recording this with Places and Faces to make some nice Limbo merch. It's got like a yellow. It's really overpriced as much merchandise for making album promotion is, but it's got like a yellow fanny pack, which is like $75, which is insane. And then like 2 t-shirts and a pair of shorts, like $75, which is insane, but make the money, Amine. You do you. For music, Trois, I'm going to say this in French. Trois nouvelles chansons from Monsieur Joey Badass. Joey Badass dropped 3 songs the week after Juice WRLD's album, the 17th. Yeah, The Light Pack is what he called it. The Light Pack is a strong comeback song. Or no, The Light is a strong comeback song. The return of Badass, in my opinion, how he describes himself in the song. No Explanation. I noticed a bit of bomb and explosion references between the first track and this one. And then Pusha comes in, does his thing on the song, and bragging, but sounding nice about it. Braggadocious, but still being really good, clean flow. I'm happy that was a surprise thing on that, because I don't think he said that Pusha T was going to be on it. Joey's like, yeah, this is going to be my best album ever. I'm like, I have hopes for you. These songs aren't bad. They're kind of mid in my opinion, but Joey Badass is still fire. Power to him. And then Shine is the last song, my favorite out of the 3. It sounds like a record, really scratchy and older. I like the almost vintage, nice Shine sample. I think it's a song called Shine. And then same day, DJ Khaled was really excited and hyping up all week these 2 new songs he worked with Drake on. I'm going to be honest, Drake's sound and flow on the song Grease had me laughing my ass off and internally worried for his lucky number 6 album, supposedly coming out this summer. It was just a weird sound coming from him, and the same man that made Started From the Bottom is making this stuff, and he sounded like he was trying to just copy The Weeknd's flow, and I was laughing my ass off when I first heard him singing this. And I know artists evolve a lot, but I wouldn't consider this a direction for Drake to be a step up, like improving. This shit literally sounds like femboy Drake, and that's just not a good thing if Drake's gonna talk like this the whole album. Popstar is the other song, way better than Grease. I like how it starts with Drake saying bitches, just like the one random line of him saying bitches, and then it's still a different sound for the chorus, but I like how he sounds and goes on the beat with his rapping for the most part. What I'm really worried about, no clue why, I'm just worried these songs are going to grow on me a lot, and as I was listening to them on the last course of like the week, I was like, damn, these are kind of catchy and growing on me. It's those stupid hooks in the choruses and verses from Drake, those really simple one-liners like Louis V, I think I'll take you to V, Gucci and Louis V, and I'll take you to Greece, and then say some stuff in French. Yeah, because my first thoughts won't even be close to my overall opinion on the songs, regardless of who still, though, because it still seems to fit to say these were throwaways on Drake's part given to DJ Khaled. A lot of Travis Scott I had another Dot Wave Radio premiere or episode on Apple Music. Teases, I think it's 5 songs, maybe a little bit more. Let me check right here, the list right here of songs. These weren't all his music either. It was a bunch of people he worked with and people he liked listening to and stuff. And they wanted to premiere their music on the episode, so they did. Big Sean premiered the song Zen. Big Sean premiered the song Lithuania with Travis Scott. Chase B and Don Toliver have a project called what is it called? I'm gonna find it right here. But I know they announced on the thing that they have Chase B and Don Toliver have a. Here it is. Oh wait, did they just announce it? Oh, Escapism is on. It's the name of the album. Is on the way. As I'm reading this right now, I've just found out. Chase B, Don Toliver, Gonna Wanna. Cafeteria is the song. They're dropping it this Friday, as in 2 days from when I'm recording this. So yeah, they announced. He was saying on July 13th, aka like 2 weeks ago. He just posted an episode, thing titled Escapism. He's had this project probably working with Don for a while, which is sick. I don't listen to much Chase B, but Don Toliver could definitely stand out on this song. So yes, Cafeteria, I was just talking about, featuring Gunna, releasing on Friday. So there you go, a song to listen to when the day or two after this came out, or the day or two after this is released. No, the day the song comes out, 2 days later, it's got the song already out. So listen to that stuff if you want. Travis Scott and Young Thug have a song called White Tea produced by Chase B and Teddy Walton. I don't know. I remember listening to it for a little bit. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest song between those two, but I liked it. I think Maria, I'm Drunk is still going to be like the best Thug. Or no, Maria, I'm Drunk and Pick Up the Phone are probably the best Thug and Travis collabs. 1 minute, I'm just drinking water. And then another song, I know nobody really excited for Nav because his album, which is not it this much this year. It was better than last year's, but it doesn't say much. Nav has a song with Wheezy called Pickney. I think people said on this one he actually sounds like he wants to be singing right now, which is kind of funny. Sway Lee, I didn't hear this song or the next song on the Wave Radio. I was kind of having bad connection. Scrooge sounds sick, just the title right there. Corday, YB and Corday released a song called The Parables. Most of them sound nice for new music, but Sean's song stood out the most for me. Just before I recorded this episode, actually, or right now before I recorded this, like an hour ago, I listened to Kyle's album. It's called See You When I'm Famous. It was pretty mid, as was Juice WRLD's album, Posthumous. On Kyle's, though, the last 4 songs are the standout tracks, even though one of them, the third to last track, is an interlude. The one before that, called, I think, Bye, is a really good song. And then the last song, where they're just spitting on it, is really sick. Last couple of big announcements right here. Feeder Clay has a deluxe edition dropping Friday as well. I told you, so much stuff dropping 7/24. The release date or the date, which is sick. The deluxe edition of that, we don't know what songs are on it. Earl Sweaty Shirt got some stuff dropping out. Duckworth had a song I think came out last Friday or 2 weeks ago, Coming Closer, called Dancing, or has the dance groove to it. I like Duckworth stuff a lot. Last year's project, The Falling Man, was so good. And it came out the same day as Igor. I listened to it a couple days or months later, and I was like, I like this a lot. I liked the whole, like, not night theme, like medieval, but like I liked the sound and the style, maybe the concept. I don't know. The theme of the each song was different and kind of cool. I liked the song with Rico Nasty, Love Is Like a Mosh Pit. There's another one with like Rope. I think what it's in the title, like Falling. Another sick one. Overall, Duckworth is a good artist, and I have hopes that he'll drop some fire album soon in the future. I think he's working on a project, like he's said on these couple singles he's released recently. He's working on something. Wanna is dropping Wanna Deluxe Edition drops Friday as well. I told you, but 7/24 is the day for music if you really like this artist. And right here is the last really big thing I'm gonna get into, and I'm gonna talk about it a lot because it's been so confusing the last like week of stuff with him. Kanye, this was last Saturday. That's what I meant. He announced a new album with a track list, then deleted it, and that's just why I was skeptical. Called Donda. He said, new album, Donda, coming July 24th, 2020 Vision, #. Now, it's kind of confusing to see what the actual songs are going to be and which ones are just, like, the same title but longer. So I'll look at the ones that are dotted right here. Donda, 24, maybe a Kobe tribute. I Feel Terrific, Future Bounce. I don't know if those are the same one because there's not a dot for Future Bounce. They're like under the same dot, but it's kind of confusing. Like I said, he's been changing it up. He's making his own font. The dude's going crazy, literally. I hope he gets better because he's been having like a lot of mental breakdowns recently with bipolar disorder, but it's just been a mess when he gets on Twitter and starts saying stuff. But the music, he said a couple days ago, I'm gonna focus on the music now. I'm like, power to you, please. Just stay healthy and stay wealthy and stay good overall, Kanye. Yeah, Keep My Spirit Alive. It's weird. This one has 2 little dots on each side of the song title. Lord, I Need You. This one doesn't have dots, so maybe that's another song title, and the dot before was the one for it. Off the Grid. Skr. Someone said it's SKMU or SKMRR. I don't know what that would really stand for. Maybe Skimmer. In God's Country, and there's a little another dot. This is God Country. Maybe it's the same song. Maybe it's a different one. It's kind of confusing. Welcome to My Life. I think that's what it says. It's kind of sick. Up from the Ashes. Apparently that was leaked before. Tell the Vision. Wash Us in the Blood. Already came out. Not even bad. Everything. New Body, which people were really excited when they saw that. But it's going to be like a gospel version, so just be aware of that. Hold the Love, I think it says. Hold the Love. Or maybe the Wait. No, I think it says Hold the Love, if I had to be honest. And he said, praise God. It's just, I'm going to just be honest, Kanye's handwriting is not the best here. A couple of things are really confusing, but we also don't even know what the actual, the official track list is because he keeps changing every day. Life of the Party, and Praise God, and Hurricane. The last Life of the Party comes after Praise God, then Hurricane. The weird thing with Hurricane, spelled it wrong, unless he meant to spell it like this. It has an I after A, so maybe it has Pusha T feature or Freddie Gibbs. That would be sick. Yeah, so that was Monday, the track list on the computer. Oh, no, that was like the Saturday, and then the Monday, the following week, I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. The the following Monday, there was a track list on the computer screen showing one song from 2018 with the rest being from this year. Right here, I'll tell you what these ones say. I'm not gonna. I mean, right here. If you really want to know the run times, I got them. It says "Stay on underscore Precious." It's 2 minutes 51 seconds. That's the first song it shows right here. 2020. These all show 2020. The only song that shows 2018 is SpaceX Alien. Kanye West reference 10:04. I'm just not going to say the timestamps because you can just hear them when the actual album comes out. But these are the titles. I Know God Breathed on this. And then it says 7/20/20 in the morning, which was maybe he released it, or worked on that song that morning. Off the Grid, 7/18/20, Evan Kit. Keep My Spirit Alive, 81. 7/18/20, Evan with Dem Joints. In God's Country, 83. I hope he didn't make 83 different versions of this. That would be insane. I hope not. God's Country, so I guess those are two songs, different songs. Future Sounds, 83 BPM, beats per minute, I think. Praise God, Evan add drums and guitars. 7/19/2020. New Body, Yay edit, so it's probably gonna be more like PG, like can't wait to see a new lady. And then SpaceX Alien, Kanye West reference 10:04. Donda, Evan outro sample fix, maybe he has to get a sample cleared or some shit. And then the last song says Lord I Need You, 7/17/20. Yay edit, Tony rewrite. There you go. It's weird because that's a lot of songs that a lot of those weren't even on the middle track list. So I don't know, maybe he renamed them. He also got rid of a couple of them, like Hurricane's not here, so I don't even know if he renamed it or what. I would love this if this song came out. This album would probably be one of the top albums of the year, 100%. If he released City in the Sky officially, I would love this album off the bat because that song is amazing, and I'm really mad that song never came out officially and Yonde didn't come out officially because that stuff was fuego, and the man just. He went on SNL dressed as a wine bottle and dipped. That's literally how it was. So here's another track list. Wednesday, today, a new track list, and supposedly he's releasing a movie to coincide with the release of Donda. I'm so confused on what Kanye's actual plan is here, but I guess we'll wait and see. Yeah, right here. So there's two ones. So I don't know which one's official, but I'm just going to read the first one right here. It says, WTH, I think it says With Child, and then God Bath. Wait, I think it says God Bath? God Breathes. Right now, or maybe there's the different songs. RN, it shows 24 in between those two, like not like on the main track list on the side. It shows In God's Country. Oh, I think I realized a little bit of this. He's using acronyms. So yeah, the D&D, yeah, Donda. WTH is the thing he talked about with the album. Something WTH Child. God Breathe on this one, I think, right now. Or maybe RN stands for Run. I don't even know what that one would really stand for. RN. It's kind of confusing, like I said, still, but I'm trying to figure it out as I go. In God's Country. I think this one's Alien, right after that ALN. FF, Off the Grid, Keep Our Spirit Alive, yep. WTMLF. This one's weird. I don't know what that would stand for. WTMLF. Well, wait, something for my life, I think. Welcome to My Life. That's what it is, because I looked at the other track list above it. Yeah, I'm trying to still piece this all together. It's so weird. Where is this? Lord, we need... Wait, Lord's 32 NDYRNDM. We need some... Lord, I Need You, I think, is the original title track name, but he might have changed it. 12,000 Hours, I think, is the next one. R King. Um, where's R King? And then Glory, I think, is one of them. Then WKTH something D. So weak. It's so weird because his handwriting's just not it, and it's kind of hard to understand. Praise God, then 24. And the thing that's confusing about these three lists is some of them are the same songs, but they're different orders, so I really don't know what he's got planned with this. Like I said, knowing Kanye, it won't drop officially on Friday, and we'll probably have it in the weekend at some point. So yeah, I'm not going to get too much into what I think of this, because I know Kanye's been on a rant. He was saying really random things on Twitter that he probably didn't mean. He was just having a bipolar reaction, freak out kind of thing. I think it's called an episode, a bipolar episode, and he was just kind of all over the place. But then there's still videos like the next day of him, after him tweeting those, of like him. I know this is how bipolar disorder works to an extent, like just having a really different emotion in the matter of minutes or days, or over the course of 24 hours. Because he's like with his friends, like and working on the Yeezy stuff in Wyoming, and he's just having such a good time, like laughing. Like Dave Chappelle's there, which is good because there's a video saying like someone like Dave Chappelle on like an interview saying that people aren't crazy, people just see a different perception of them and think that they're not, because they're not the same as them, that they're crazy in some ideas, which is insane. I'm just glad Dave Chappelle's hanging with Kanye and making him feel better. I just hope this album sounds better than Jesus is King in the sense that it's not all Yandhi workarounds, like changing the song to more PG and Christian. I also hope Kanye gets better in mental state of health. I hope the whole election thing isn't getting to his head, and I hope he doesn't worry about that. I think the music stuff is what he's better at, and I think if he really wanted to run for president, not to get political about this, he should just do it in 2024, like 4 years from now. Because right now, the years are already a mess. But when you say you want to make the world like Wakanda, and the birthday party is your elective party, and it's like, you can't really take everything he says seriously, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, do not make Kanye president. This will end badly for all of us. It's like, yeah, well, I don't think he's going to win. I don't know who's going to win. I don't really get political. I'm just saying, like, Kanye is just probably really having passion with this idea of him being president. It was funny, because I'll go right here to his Twitter. He said one tweet this morning, like 1:47 in the morning, because I was looking through the stuff when I found this morning when I was looking at the track list. Did he delete it or did he keep it? Yeah, he still has right here. He says, Donda, with child, new album and movie this Friday. Sounds sick, like I said, with that one thing. He tweeted, says the future president, so he's really confident in this whole thing. People are saying mental illness is real, praying for you, Kanye. For real. Or like, just, I don't know what's going on. I think he just needed to, I just want him to not focus too much on this stuff and have it get into his head and then like end bad for not bad for everyone, but like, I just want Kanye to get better. I think everyone does, because like really, it hurts to see him like get crazy about these things and like focus on random things like running for president in the Wyoming Yeezy stuff. Like, I don't really know what his goals are in his head. I also don't know what goes on in Kanye's head. But what I'm saying is, the album, whether or not it comes out, I'm not really focused on that. If it doesn't, I won't be mad. I'll be like, let Logic have his day. And honestly, power to him for retiring with this album, so he says, and he's gonna stream like every week on Twitch, which is insane. That's gonna be like his platform to communicate with the fans and stuff. I don't know. It's been a weird few weeks. That's why I've been talking. I had all this information stored, and I needed to talk about it at some point. And the music is still the main priority of things coming out right now. Like, music, if everything else is a shit show this year, music is the savior, or not savior, but the standout that's not, like, shit the bed on us, essentially. Like, it's still doing its thing, putting out some fire projects, and people in general, and that's what made me happy with music. That's why music is a good thing to keep your mind off of, like, the mess that the world's in, and like just listen to some fire songs. And that's why I hope Kanye puts out some fire songs at some point. I don't want him to like mess up his mental health by doing that. I just want him to at some point put out some nice songs. That's all it is. Same with Logic putting the album out Friday and all that stuff I just listed earlier. I'm like really excited for it. So yeah, like I said at the beginning episode, I will not be posting one the following weekend after this comes out, as in like I think 7 days from this being released, because I'll be on a little vacation. I know I keep going on a couple of vacations every so often, but hear me out. It's nice to get out of the house in that sense, and it's like I just want to just still have a summer. Like, I'm obviously going to follow every guidelines the places I go to require me, and it's really, all it really comes down to is just wearing a mask in a building when you're in close quarters and like close to other people you don't really know, and putting their life and your life at risk by not wearing one. That's all it comes down to. You wear it in a building, like let's just say you go to get something at Cumbies. You put the mask on, you walk in with it on, you come outside when you're like 6 feet away from the building, you can take it off and you're good. That's all it is. I keep reiterating this every episode or every so often. It's just because it's not that difficult. That's all I say. People who are like really against it, it's like, I think you can breathe into the mask. You know you can. You don't need to wear it 24/7. And if it really affects you and you want to go to something for like a really long time, well, just don't go do that. Take breaks. There's like a lot of places like the theme parks, which shouldn't be open in the first place. They have relaxation stations where you can take the mask off and keep your distance and breathe without the mask on for a couple minutes. It's not that hard. I'm just saying, like, people can do this, and this would help big time if everyone wore one. I digress, though. I've been talking about this for a good bit, and it's kind of the same thing every single weekend, pretty much. Just wear the mask. That's all I ask, and that's it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week's episode of Grandpa's Fridge this weekend, I guess. If you did enjoy it and you're on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff if you want to. If you're on Spotify or on any other streaming platform, feel free to follow it and listen to all the other episodes if you haven't before. I'm sure you have if you're already on the 4th one now. But yeah, I'll see you guys whenever the next episode may be. Probably in 2 to 3 weeks at most. I'd say 3, 4. But have a good summer. Stay safe. I know I sound like a teacher whenever I say this stuff, but like still continue to have fun this summer. Don't just sit inside, not sulking, but like being bored out of your mind. Like make plans with people. Ask people like, hey, I'm being dead serious. I'm really bored. I want to do something. You down? And then if they're most likely say, yeah, I am bored as well, because everyone's in that same boat when it comes to still social distancing and the pandemic and quarantining, all that jazz. But yeah, I'll see you guys next episode. Peace. Grandpa's Fridge.